properties of square numbers. Okay, and so our success criteria is a bit like this, guys. I want you to understand today, I'm not going to get you to chant, I want you to understand that, I guess, 1, 4, 9, right, are really the first 3 square numbers. I guess that's 1, isn't it? You can see that 1 dot there. That's 4, because it's got the 4 dots there. Can you see that? And this is 3, well that's 9, isn't it? So 1, 4 and 9 are really the first square numbers because they make squares, don't they? They make squares. Now that doesn't, you don't necessarily understand that straight away, but we can look at that a little bit more closely. You know, I'll challenge you, you can't really make squares with other sets of dots, can you? You can't make a square with 3 dots. You can't make a square with 5 dots, but you can with 1, 4 and 9, and it keeps on going up. We're going to look at square numbers and their properties. One property, for example, is... One property is square numbers can only end with... One property is square numbers can only end with 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 and 9. Okay? All right, let's go. Who's got a question? Yes? Sure. Now, if you've got some time or a book, I would probably write this down. I think it's probably pretty helpful, okay? Okay. All right, if you've written down properties, I hope you put down they end with, because, you know, the properties are, they always end with a 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9. So just make sure you've got that down. Okay, let's start off at the beginning. I'm going to show you some stuff. You're just going to copy it down as well. Basically, look, square numbers make squares. Write that down. Square numbers make squares. Write that down. It's not a title, just write it down on the page. Taking notes. The first square, you can write this down, the first square number is 1. You can just draw your little dot there because that means like 1. There you go, you can see 1. It's actually a bit of a naughty square number because it doesn't look like a square, but it is technically a square number, right? The first square number is 1. Maybe it helps to draw a little square around it. That's fine, you could do that. Maybe you can imagine that makes a square. Can anyone tell me the second square number? Aaliyah?
4.
It is 4. Let's write it down. The second square number is 4. And look, you know, you can see. How do I explain this? Help me out a bit. I'm not just going to show you. Look. How long is this? How many dots across is this? 1. How many dots up is this? 1. Okay, so now we're up to the second square number. So how many dots across is it going to be? 2. 2 dots across, yeah?
Yeah.
Right? And how many dots down is it going to be? 2. Right, so we're up to, okay, 1, 2. And so then you complete it to make the square. Right? 2 up, 2 across, yes? And so which of course equals? 4. So the second square number is 4. All right, so draw that down. I hope you've got that down. That's important. If that's a bit small, I'm going to do it bigger here. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see. 2 across, 2 up. The third square number is, okay, now remember the first one was 1 up, 1 across. The second one was 2 up, 2 across. The third one is going to be how much up?
5.
No, 3 up. And how many across? 3. Right, so let's do that. Like 3 up. 1, 2, 3. And how many across?
Don't go anywhere.
3. 1, 2. Oh, sorry, 1, 2, 3. Right now, let's complete the square. So, can we all do that? Can we complete the square? Yep. Dot, 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 dot. So what's the third square number?
9.
It's 9. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yep. The fourth square number. The fourth square number is... Let's see over here. Good, we can. Right. How many across are the dots going to be? It's the fourth square number. How many across? 4. How many up? Right, so let's draw that out. 1, 2, 3, 4 across. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4 up. Yes? Yep. Let's fill in the square. Can we fill in the square? Let's do that. Right, I'm going to fill that in. Here we go. I'm filling in the square. 4 across, 4 up. Filling in the square. 4 across and 4 up. Right, I'm drawing my square because it's a square, right? Because it's a square number. What is it? What's the value of the fourth square number? Bria? 16. 16. Are you copying this down?
Yes.
Good, because watch this. Right. 1 times 1 equals?
1.
2 times 2 equals?
4.
3 times 3 equals?
9.
4 times 4 equals?
16.
Right, do you see how it all fits together?
Yes.
Let's do the next square number. I'm going to rub this out. I hope you're ready. See if you can work it out what it is. Right, the fifth square number. How many dots across?
5.
How many dots up? Dots up? 5. So 5 across, 5 up. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 up. Count in the first dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Fill out the rest of the square. Are we all doing this? Eleni? Yep. Good. Right. It's a good square. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. The fifth square number equals 25. Which is, by the way, 5 times 5. Or, you know what? I'm ready to blow your mind. Or 5 squared. Because that little 2 means squared. Remember that? That little 2 means squared. So it's the same as saying 5 times 5 or 5 squared. And what's 5 squared? It equals 25. What's 5 squared? It equals... Look, what happens when you make 5 a square? It equals... It equals 25. Okay. Who knows what the next square number is? No.
36.
Stop and have a think. You know what? This is the part of the video where I'm going to stop. You're going to create the 6th square number. Do it in pencil so you can rub it out if you get it wrong. You do it by yourself. Draw out for me on this space the 6th square number. We've done the first 5. You're up to the 6th one. Draw it out. Take your time. And if you're watching at home or in class, pause me and then have a go. Okay. Who's ready? Most of us?
Yeah. Yes.
Put up your hand if you're ready. Oh, that's enough. Right. The 6th square number equals...
36.
Yay! It equals 36. 6 up and down. 6 across. 36, which is the same as 6 times 6, which is exactly that. 6, yeah? Times 6. Or another way you could put it is 6 and this little 2, which means 6 squared. 6 squared, right? And we learned about square numbers. So, guys, we could go on forever. We could do the 7th square number. We could do the 8th square number. We could do the 9th. And by the way, the 7th squared number is 7 sevens are 49. The 8th squared number is
64.
8 8s are 64. The 9th square number is 9 9s are 81. Good, that's enough. Oh, There's not a last one. There's no last one. They go on forever. They go to infinity. And we'll keep going. The 10th square number is?
100.
10 times 10 is 100. The 11th square number is? 121, because 11 times 11 is 121. And the 12th square number is?
144.
Because 12 times 12 is 144. They go on forever. 13 times 13, 14 times 14. It goes on forever. We'll stop there. Because I think you've got an idea of what square numbers are. Now we're going to look at their properties. And they're pretty interesting. They're pretty interesting. We're going to have a mini title in our work. It's called Properties of Square Numbers. Write that down. Okay, right, we're here. We're back. We've written that down.
Yes.
Properties. Now, first of all, let's write down the square numbers we know. Right, let's write down the square numbers. We're going to do a little box up here, right? So the first square number was? 1. The second was? It was not 2.
4.
Is 4. Next one was? 9. Next one was?
16.
16.
20.
Next one was? 25.
36.
Then 36. And you know what? Just for fun, let's put down one we didn't do, which would be?
49.
49. That's 7 times 7, right? It goes on forever. It never stops. It goes on till infinity, right? But I'm going to show you some interesting things, some common things about these square numbers, which, by the way, we use when we design buildings or we're making plans for various structures. It helps to understand how squares work. Okay, so first property. First property. Square of even numbers is always even. Square of even numbers is always even. Square of even numbers is always even. E.g. 2 times 2 equals? 4. Is 4 even? Yeah. 8 times 8 equals?
64.
Right.
16.
8 times 8 equals?
64.
64. Is 64 even?
Yeah.
Yes. Help me out. Number 2. Property number 2 I'm teaching you. Square of odd numbers is always odd. It definitely is always odd. For example, look. 3 times 3 equals? Is 9 odd or even? Odd. 5 times 5 equals? 25. Is 25 odd or even? Okay. 19 times 19. I don't know. But if you times 19, 19 is an odd number, right? I know its square is going to be odd. That's a rule. 9 times 9 is 81. Odd number. Time for a question. Jacob. Great question. Just had a question. Hey, aren't all these even numbers? No. All these numbers in blue are the consecutive square numbers. Remember we just drew out those squares? The first square had 1 dot, yes? The second square had 4 dots. The third square had 9 dots. The fourth square had
16.
Right. This is 1 times 1. This is 2 times 2. This is 3 times 3. This is 4 times 4. These are definitely not all even numbers. These are your consecutive, which means one after the other, square numbers. Is that making sense? Good. Great question. Do we understand this?
Yes.
Right, square of even numbers is always?
Even.
Square of odd numbers is always?
Odd.
We'll do 2 more.
So we need another.
Okay, our third property. Square numbers only end with 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 and 9. You'll never find a square number that ends with 7. You'll never find a square number that ends with 8. They will always only end with 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 and 9. Oh, that sort of does make sense, doesn't it? 1, 4, 9, 16. Right, that does make some sense. Okay. Why do they only end with 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 and 9? We've looked at our base square numbers. Look, that's a 1, that's a 4, that's a 9, and these are matched by these numerals down here. That's a 6, that's a 5, that's a 6, that's a 9. You can only ever build evolutions of these numbers, which means you're always, no matter how high your numbers go, it's always going to end with a 0, 1, 4, 5, 6, or a 9. Oh, and I know that 0 is not here, I get that, but what's 10 times 10? 100. Here's my last property. I think this is the best property, but it's a bit tricky, so you're gonna have to work it out with me, right? You're gonna have to help me work it out. What's the difference between 1 and 4? 3.
Okay.
What's the difference between 4 and 9? 5. What's the difference between 9 and 16? 7. What's the difference between 16 and 25? 9. What's the difference between 25 and 36? 11. What's the difference between 36 and 49? 13. There's a pattern. Can you see the pattern? 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. The difference. Tell me the pattern.
What's the even number?
The difference between each square number increases by 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. The difference between each square number increases by? Yeah, each time. Here's the rule. Right, write this down. The difference between each square number increases by 2 each time. The difference between each square number increases by 2 each time, and it does. Look, the difference between 1 and 4 is 3. Yeah, sure. But the difference between 4 and 9 is 5. The difference between 9 and 16 is 7. The difference between 16 and 25 is 9. So the difference between each square number consecutively gets bigger by 2 each time. And that goes on and on forever in numbers. Okay, thanks for watching. We have been learning, about what square numbers are, and secondly, what properties of square numbers are. Okay, cheerio.